Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are going to be talking about the election out of the state of Arizona. We have a new real poll to analyze out of the state of Arizona, so make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel. But first, I have to tell you guys about my friends over at Noble Gold. So with the election less than a month away now, it's time to take a step back. The political uncertainty could be devastating for your retirement fund if it's not handled properly, and I think you'd agree, whatever the outcome, things are going to be rough for a while. If you're worried about your finances taking a hit, you should look at protecting your savings, especially your hard-earned retirement fund. A gold IRA uses the value of precious metals to keep you out of trouble, and the team at Noble Gold knows how to do this, and they've done it for thousands of people before you. Don't let a sudden stock market or banking crisis wipe out your finances. And if you need an extra reason to jump on this, Noble Gold is gifting a 10th ounce solid gold American Eagle proof coin with every qualifying IRA or 401k rollover going through in October. Grab the phone and give Noble Gold a call now. There isn't much time left. The number is 877-646-5347 or submit a request from the link in the description. And today we have to talk about the great state of Arizona. We're going to be analyzing a little bit of the ballot return data from TargetSmart, which is actually more accurate than some other states that we've gone over like Texas and Georgia, because Arizona actually does register by party. And speaking about party registrations in the state of Arizona, Republicans actually started to gain towards the end, particularly in Maricopa County with registrations, which typically is a good sign for Republicans, especially compared to 2018. And we are going to go through this, but it is very important we talk about this poll that came out from Richard Baris, People's Pundit, who nailed 2016 in nearly every state. He has a poll called Big Data Poll. 538 and the Election Mafia have done everything they can do to shelf it. They've done everything they can do to ban it. But People's Pundit here, Richard Baris, says, so far, Martha McSally is running about 5 points behind Donald Trump, but Donald Trump appears to be headed for a 5 to 7 point win in the state of Arizona. He is polling right now. He has a 73% female sample so far. Most of that, a lot of it is from Maricopa County, which is what you're supposed to do when you poll Arizona. A lot of it's going to come from Maricopa County because Maricopa County has over half of the state's population. And that sample is Trump +1 so far. When it's all weighted, it would be a Trump +5 to a Trump 0.7 win. Legal weed seems to be winning. Martha McSally seems to be falling a bit behind Donald Trump as expected. But so far in this poll, it is Donald Trump up by 5 to 7 points, which is in line with the Trafalgar poll that had Donald Trump up by 4 points in the state. So again, it is an outlier, but at the same time, could it be accurate? I don't know. I don't think Donald Trump is going to win the state of Arizona by 5 to 7 percentage points. I think he's going to win it by like 1 to 2%. But could he win it by 5? Could he win it by 5 to 7? He possibly could. It would be a very good night for him. And if that is the case, he's probably doing very well in Texas, Florida, Georgia, maybe even Nevada at that point. You could add that to his column, and we could be in for a much different night than what the national media has been talking about, because Baris's polls in the past have been very, very accurate. This could be an outlier, but at the same time, he nailed 2016 in Michigan, Pennsylvania. He was the only one that had Wisconsin remotely close, and he also nailed Florida, North Carolina, but 538 decided to ban his poll because they don't like him, because he contradicts what the election mafia's narrative that they push is. So you can see right here that it is a much different race according to Richard Baris than it is according to the national pundits. And looking at the 2020 TargetSmart data for Republicans in the state of Arizona, they should be behind significantly. In Pennsylvania, they're behind. In Florida, they're behind North Carolina. But Arizona, they do have a little bit more trustworthy vote-by-mail system. Doug Ducey's the governor. They have a little bit more history voting by mail, especially with all of the absentees from the elderly vote and the senior vote in Arizona. And Republicans are at 43%. Democrats are at 52%. That's not that bad. That, in fact, is only a 45,000 vote lead so far. That could easily be made up by Election Day. Democrats had roughly the same lead percentage-wise in 2016 when they ended up losing the state by 4 percentage points in 2016. So you can see this chart here. Republicans have caught up significantly. There hasn't been any data from today, it looks like, but we will continue to monitor the situation in Arizona. But it seems like Republicans are in a fairly good shape when it comes to the state of Arizona in terms of the early vote data, although in 2018 Republicans did appear to make a big gain, and that really wasn't the case on election night, at least when it came down to the Senate race, because Republicans did very, very well statewide in terms of the governor's race, a couple of other statewide offices, but a lot of the House races and the Senate race were a little bit of a disappointment for Republicans. But looking at the map, and I say, what does Donald Trump need to do to win the state of Arizona? Because some people are saying he's going to lose Maricopa County. He can still lose Maricopa narrowly and win the state. If you want to look at the change from 2012, Donald Trump improved in places like Yavapai County. He improved in places like Pinal. These are actually fairly big population centers, as well as improving in Mojave County, Navajo County. There's still some votes out there that are not in Maricopa for Republicans. In 2018, McSally actually overperformed Trump in Yuma County, overperformed him a little bit in Pima County, although she was the representative for one of the districts that did lie in part in Pima County. But McSally could have won Arizona without Maricopa County had she held Trump's margins in the exurban areas. She only won Yavapai County by 15,000 votes. This is a county that Donald Trump won by almost 36,000 votes. The margin in Pinal was Trump plus 25,000. The margin in Pinal here was McSally plus 13,000. So you add all of the votes up there. Pinal and Yavapai and Mojave, McSally won by 31,000. This was a county where Donald Trump won by 41,000. If Trump is able to get his base out in the exurban areas, he should have roughly no problem winning the state, especially because McSally only lost the state by, it kind of looks like it was a 55,000, 56,000 vote margin. And Sinema did have a lot of supporters that do support Donald Trump. She made a big outreach to seniors. She made a big outreach in the Maricopa County area. She did actually concede on the immigration issue, and she ended up winning the Senate race in Arizona at a time when the Republican governor candidate, Doug Ducey, the incumbent governor, ended up defeating David Garcia by almost 350,000 votes or so. Keep in mind, Garcia was a Bernie bro type of candidate. He was not the best fit for Arizona. If they did run a moderate candidate, he would have done much better than Garcia did here. But still, Doug Ducey did have a very, very big performance, and there was a lot of crossover voting. And in the exit polls, from what we did see, there were more Trump Sinema voters than Hillary McSally voters, and it really wasn't even close. On top of that, Donald Trump's approval rating in the state was 51% or so. Donald Trump's disapproval rating in the state was 48%. So Trump still has a lot of supporters in Arizona, and there's a lot of data to back this up other than the big media polls that we've seen. So it just comes down to turnout. Donald Trump will have to get his base out in Maricopa County, and he'll have to add some new voters as well. And I think he can, because you look at Arizona, Gary Johnson took 4.1%. Others, a lot of this went to McMullen, 2% of the vote. A lot of those other voters and Johnson voters, they voted for Mitt Romney, but a lot of them were Mormon voters who were turned off by Donald Trump's tone. One thing Donald Trump has done this election, he has kind of got his margins up with traditional Republican voters. Look at the Utah primary this cycle. Donald Trump got roughly 90% of the vote in the Utah primary. Back then, he got roughly 14% in 2016 compared to some of these other high-profile guys like Ted Cruz and Rubio were also in that race. But Donald Trump seems to have a relatively unified party against one of Romney's cohorts in Bill Weld. Donald Trump went out there in Utah and trounced him. That kind of tells you that a lot of these Mormon voters have warmed up to Trump. Trump will probably do better in Utah than he did last time. Margin-wise, without McMuffin on the ballot, there's no McMuffin this time. He could improve in the Phoenix area, specifically in Mesa and Gilbert with the Mormon vote, because you have to understand that when you look at the change map here in Arizona, we could pull this up, we could go back here to the county change map for Arizona and see it by county here, change from 2012, and you look at Maricopa County, Hillary didn't get that many votes over Romney percentage-wise. However, there were a lot of third-party voters, and Donald Trump's vote share shrunk in terms of the raw vote. I would expect him to outperform Romney's raw vote total in 2012. I would also expect Biden to overperform Hillary's raw vote total from 2016, but it is going to be a toss-up county. Again, when you look at the size of lead here, he does not have to win Maricopa to win because a lot of the Republican vote actually didn't come from Maricopa. Trump's lead and victory came from places like Pinal County, Yavapai County, and Mojave County, which Trump won by 41,000 votes. This is all Paul Gosar's district right here, and it actually swung to the right in 2016, and that has to be taken into consideration. Also, Trump's improvement with Latinos in places like Tucson, in places like Yuma, that also can help him win this election. Also, people do have to take into consideration that Joe Arpaio is not a factor this cycle. He lost his primary. John McCain is less of a factor this election as it was last election. So looking at all of this, you would expect Donald Trump to at least have a good chance to win Arizona. I had it as tilt R. I think Trump is going to win by 1 to 2%, and you have the data that backs it up that Republicans are doing fairly well. If they come out on election day and swamp the Democrats, they could be headed for a Baris margin. But again, this is early data. We only have 520,000 votes tallied so far. There are a lot more votes to count here in Arizona. And if you do want to look by county, we could actually look into this. We can look at Maricopa County. You can actually see that Republicans are doing fairly about the same margin-wise as they were doing in 2016. The Democrats actually had a 4.1% lead in the early vote. Now, Democrats have roughly a 5.6% lead in the early vote. Not much of a difference there, and a lot of the unaffiliated vote has gone down, so it could be a total wash when you look at it from that standpoint. But either way, Republicans are in fairly good shape in Arizona. Donald Trump should keep pushing to win the state. He should go there. He should hold a couple rallies there. And Democrats should not take Arizona for granted either. But just because they have Mark Kelly at the top of their ticket in the Senate race and he is likely to beat Martha McSally, it does not necessarily mean that Donald Trump is not going to win the state because, again, Arizona is a ticket-splitting state. Look at 2016. Look at 2006. That's a big example of a ticket split in the state of Arizona. But either way, it's looking fairly good for Donald Trump in the state of Arizona, but we'll just have to wait and see. This one, I think, goes to Trump. It could go either way, but I'd say Trump probably does end up winning the state by 1 to 2% or so. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, become a member, donate to the Patreon, or subscribe. Star links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.